guys, CJ here. So here we are for part 3 of the newly named Challenging Your Identity. I just want to do a really quick review of what we've talked about so far. Excuse the little voice thing going on. It's first thing in the morning. I just had a gig last night, so I'm a little bit throaty. But anyway, we've talked about the fact that your identity is nothing more than the beliefs you have about who you are and what you're capable of. That's it. And that they're formed by experience and the decisions we made regarding those experiences, okay? And we've also found that your identity changes over time. You know, who you say you are changes as you grow, as you experience new things. And that's the important part. First of all, growth is always the path to fulfillment, because if you just can't, no one can be fulfilled long term if they're not growing. Eventually, you're nothing else. You're bored. So, that's what your identity is. And the reason just about a little aside, the reason I'm talking about changing it to challenging instead of changing is there are videos out there about how to change your identity. And of course, they're talking about legally, and I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what's in your head. So here's what we're going to do. So we said also that the first step in challenging that identity is acceptance that this identity is what it is, even with all its shortcomings, and has brought you this far. So now, what's the next step? Once you've accepted, okay, here's where I am, here's where I'm going, this is fine, and I'm endorsing it and everything else, now what's the next step? Well, the next step is to actually make a decision. Now, making a decision is one of those things that is really easier said than done. Many times people talk about making a decision, and what they have is actually what I would call a wish. You know, I made a decision, I'm gonna. And that's how you know you haven't made a decision. Because when you make a real decision, if you look up decision or decide in the dictionary, what it says is it means literally to cut off from. So once you've decided this is now here and everything else is now over there, and there is no let me think about it, there is no anything else, there's just action follows immediately. I have made a decision which I will be posting on very soon. And I was very surprised about how quickly, once I really knew that the decision had been made, there wasn't a need to start planning action. The action started immediately. So when you make a decision, the way you make those decisions is to continually focus on where you're going and are you getting there. And then you're going to find that there's probably a certain amount of discomfort or even pain going on inside you, because there's probably a conflict. There's probably things inside you that want this new thing and things inside you that don't. And when you really decide, it may not even feel all inspirational or motivational or anything. It may feel kind of like, holy crap, now I got a lot of work in front of me. But even still, you'll still know that the decision was made when there's action that's going to follow it right up. All right, so make that decision. You're gonna have to get references for your new decision, for your new beliefs. Remember, your identity is nothing more than a set of beliefs you have about yourself. So you're gonna have to get references. So I know this has been bandied about in a lot of New Age things before, but the way you get references is to think about what would that person do, what would the person I want to be do, and then go do them. Literally, that's what it is. So in our case, so if you're a person who has fitness goals of losing weight or gaining weight or putting on muscle or being leaner or whatever, then you have to become that person. I've always laughed when people said, I want to look like an athlete. And I always said, well, then go be one. So whether that means, playing in a sport or doing more functional training or working out in the gym like an athlete would when they're preparing for their sport. That's how come they look that way. First they work out in the gym and then they go actually play the sport. So you have to find out what that person would be, who that person is, and then go do the same things. So if you want to be someone that if you admire someone and the way they look and the way they move and they train 5, 6, 7 days a week, then that's what you're looking at. And then you have to also get in your mind, I have to do that with the best mindset possible. Because if you're continually going into the gym and going, yeah, well, I'm heading toward my goals, you're missing the whole point. You're really missing the whole point. There are a lot of people that made amazing transformations and in 6 months later went right back. I actually had a transformation. It wasn't amazing, but I had a transformation in 2001, a long time ago, where I did lean out and looked a lot better. And it lasted maybe 6 months because my mind was not on board with what that was. I hadn't changed my identity. My identity was still someone that sought comfort in food and worked out only to get a goal. Okay, my new identity is that I work out. That's what I do. I work out because I love to work out. It feels good. It takes my mind away from all the other noise, and I like to work out hard. So that's part of my new identity, and I'm still working through that. I still struggle with my nutrition because there's a change there that I have to make. Another step in making that decision, changing the beliefs, okay? Like I said, your identity is nothing really more than a series of beliefs and your faith in those beliefs, a series of things that you could say. And you will find, no matter how strong your decision is to change, you will find that those beliefs and those behaviors keep cropping up. And the way you deal with that is you continually say, that's who I used to be. There's a lot of ways to deal with it, but I found this one simply to be the most effective. It takes a little bit of time. It happens over time. But if you continually undermine old behaviors, old patterns, old beliefs, eventually they change. The last part is you're gonna slip. You're gonna fall. Nobody ever does anything perfect. The most amazing body, the most amazing success person you've ever seen didn't do everything perfect. They slipped, they made mistakes, they missed something. Especially not only to get there, but to stay there. And that's, again, what we're talking about. We're not talking about something that's going to last you for a week or a month. We're talking about something that wants to last you the rest of your life. So, and that's the other thing, of course. We're changing lifestyle. We're not changing just for the day. And that's why your goals, coming back full circle, are so important. Because if you know what you want, you also have to know that it's not only achievable, but sustainable. Because otherwise, what's the point? There's no achieving a goal and then losing it 2 months later is actually depressing. It's probably worse than never achieving the goal. You know, it's the opposite of that. Better to have loved than lost. In this case, it's almost better not to have achieved the goal. So make sure your goals are set. Make sure they're achievable, and then make sure that as you're working toward that, you're moving by progress and not some kind of idea of perfection. You're just track your progress. Make sure you're tracking your progress. Make sure you do whatever you can to track whatever gains you're making. And you will see, you may not be gaining in one area, but you will be gaining in another area. You may not be losing the weight, but you're gaining strength. You may not be gaining strength, but you're losing weight, or you're getting leaner, or your clothes are fitting better. Have a lot of different criteria that you judge by, so that you can see that there's always a success that you're making, and that's going to keep you moving in the long term. So there's part two. There's part two for you. Part one, all right? Remember, you have an identity that you've created over these years, and if that identity, as you're moving towards something new, toward a new goal, that identity is probably not going to serve you and may even hold you back. 2, accept the fact that that identity was something that was really good. It supported you up to this point, and now it's time to move beyond it. And 3, you start by deciding that this is now where you're going to be. This is now who you're going to be. And that is the final point of this video. Always remember, all this stuff we're doing, whether it's music or fitness or your job or success or money or relationships or anything, all it is about is that who we are. And who we are becomes someone better when we achieve goals that are set like this. That's the whole point. I mean, it would not serve me or you guys for me to become Mr. Fitness USA at any age and then become a jerk. What's the point? So who we are is someone that helps people out, help your friends out. You become a leader almost whether you like it or not. You become someone that people look up to and then come to help them on their journey, and then the system actually starts working, as opposed to the kind of system that we've seen so often. That's why I'm here at 8 o'clock in the morning after a gig last night making this video, because this is about the only time I'm going to have. There it is. We have one more of these to do, the final step, and then you'll have this complete. So I do hope you take advantage of this. I hope it serves. I hope that you are moving toward your goals and your fitness goals and your life goals. I hope that you are able to share that with everybody that's in your circle, and I hope that circle supports you. So stay strong today. Get your workouts in. Keep your nutrition on point. And support each other in your goals. And I will see you soon. Take care. Bye.